Hey everyone, and welcome back to ElectroGuide, your go-to source for everything about electricity and energy. Today, we're tackling a topic that's causing a huge buzz in the solar community, and frankly, a lot of confusion and concern. We're talking about the new grid support charge. What is it? Why is it happening? And most importantly, how is it going to affect you as a solar panel owner or someone thinking about going solar? You've probably heard whispers, seen headlines, or maybe even received a notice that left you scratching your head. Is this the end of solar savings as we know it? Is it a solar tax? Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll have a crystal clear understanding of what's really going on, and I promise to cut through all the jargon and give you the straight facts. Let's get powered up and dive in. First things first, let's define what this grid support charge actually is. In simple terms, it is a new fee that some utility companies are proposing or have already started implementing for customers with solar panels, unlike your regular electricity bill, which is mostly based on how much energy you consume. This is often a fixed monthly charge. The core idea, according to the utilities, is to ensure that everyone who uses the electrical grid contributes to its upkeep. Think of the grid as our national highway system for electricity. It's a massive, complex network of power plants, substations, transformers, and thousands of miles of wires that deliver power to our homes 24/7. Maintaining this infrastructure, upgrading it, and keeping it reliable costs a lot of money. The argument from the utility companies is that even when your solar panels are generating all the power you need or even sending excess power back to the grid, you are still connected to and relying on that grid. You rely on it at night when the sun isn't shining, on cloudy days when your production is low, and as a backup for when your system might need maintenance. So they believe solar homeowners should pay a dedicated fee for that access and reliability, just like everyone else. So why now? Why is this becoming such a hot topic all of a sudden? The main driver is the incredible growth of rooftop solar. Over the last decade, the number of homes with solar panels has skyrocketed. This is fantastic news for renewable energy and for individual homeowners' wallets, but it's also changing the fundamental business model of traditional utility companies. Historically, utilities made their money by generating electricity and selling it to you. The more you used, the more they earned. But with rooftop solar, customers are now generating their own power. This means they're buying significantly less electricity from the utility. This phenomenon is sometimes called grid defection, though you're not truly defecting since you're still connected. This drop in revenue for utilities is a major concern for them. They argue that while their revenue from selling electricity is going down, their costs to maintain the grid for everyone, including solar customers, are staying the same or even increasing. They see the grid support charge as a way to create a more stable, predictable revenue stream to cover these fixed costs, ensuring the grid remains stable for all users, both solar and non-solar. Now, let ease address the big question that is on everyone's mind. Is this just a solar tax? Well, that's the million-dollar question, and how you answer it really depends on your perspective. Opponents of these charges absolutely label them as a solar tax. They argue that these fees unfairly penalize people who have invested their own money in clean energy. They say it discourages homeowners from going solar, which slows down our transition to renewable resources. From their point of view, solar owners are already providing a huge benefit to the grid. When your panels produce more electricity than you need, that excess power flows back into the grid, supplying clean energy to your neighbors. This can help reduce the strain on the grid during peak demand times, like on hot summer afternoons when everyone's air conditioning is running full blast. This can even help utilities avoid having to build expensive new power plants. So opponents argue that instead of being charged extra, solar owners should be fairly compensated for the value they provide. They see these charges as a move by monopoly utilities to protect their profits and stifle competition from rooftop solar. On the other side of the coin, supporters of the charge, primarily the utility companies and some regulators, argue it's not a penalty but a matter of fairness. Their argument goes like this: the cost of maintaining the grid is currently bundled into the price per kilowatt hour of electricity. So the more electricity you use, the more you pay towards grid maintenance. When solar customers drastically reduce the amount of electricity they buy, they are consequently paying much less for grid maintenance, even though they still rely on the grid just as much as their non-solar neighbors for backup power. This, they claim, creates a cost shift. The fixed costs of the grid don't disappear. They just get shifted onto the remaining customers, primarily those who don't have solar panels. These are often lower income households or renters who can't install solar. So, from this perspective, the grid support charge is about unbundling the costs. It separates the cost of the electricity you use from the cost of accessing the grid, making sure everyone pays their fair share for the infrastructure we all depend on. It's a complex debate with valid points on both sides. So, how exactly would this charge affect your solar investment and your savings? This is where we need to get into the numbers. The impact really depends on the specific amount of the charge and the electricity rates in your area. Let's say, for example, a utility implements a fixed charge of $30 per month. If your solar panels were previously saving you $150 a month on your electricity bill, your net savings would now be reduced to $120 a month. Over the course of a year, that's $360 less in your pocket. This would extend the payback period for your solar panel system, meaning it would take you longer to recoup your initial investment. For people who are considering going solar, this new, unavoidable cost could be a major deterrent. The financial calculations might not look as attractive as they did before. It's crucial to understand that these charges vary wildly from one utility to another. Some might be low, maybe $10 or $15, while others could be significantly higher. This is not a nationwide standard. It's being decided on a state-by-state and utility-by-utility basis, usually through a complex regulatory process. This means what is happening in California might be completely different from what is happening in Florida or Arizona. This brings us to a really important point. What can you do about it? How can you stay informed and even get involved? First and foremost, knowledge is power. Pay close attention to your local news and any communications from your utility company. These new charges don't just appear overnight. They have to go through a proposal and approval process with your state's Public Utilities Commission, or PUC. These commissions are regulatory bodies that oversee utilities, and they are required to hold public hearings and accept public comments. This is your opportunity to make your voice heard. You can write letters, send emails, or even attend these hearings to express your opinion, whether you support or oppose the proposed charges. Advocacy groups are also incredibly important here. Organizations like Vote Solar or the Solar Energy Industries Association, SEA, are often heavily involved in these regulatory battles, fighting to protect the rights of solar owners. Following them on social media or subscribing to their newsletters is a great way to stay up to date on what is happening in your state and learn about opportunities to take action. Don't underestimate the power of collective action. When enough customers speak up, it can genuinely influence the decisions made by regulators. So, what does the future look like? Is this the new normal for solar? It is likely that we'll see more and more debates around grid fees as solar adoption continues to grow. The old utility model is being disrupted, and we are in the middle of a major transition. The final outcome will likely be a compromise. Perhaps we'll see more sophisticated rate designs, like time of use rates that encourage people to use energy when it's abundant and cheap, like midday when solar production is at its peak. Or maybe we'll see the growth of battery storage become a key part of the solution. When you pair your solar panels with a home battery, you can store your excess solar energy instead of sending it back to the grid. Then you can use that stored energy at night, making you even more self-sufficient and less reliant on the grid. This could reduce the utilities' argument that you're a constant burden. Some new rate structures might even offer incentives for homes with batteries that can help support the grid during peak events. The key takeaway is that the relationship between homeowners, solar energy, and the grid is evolving. It's becoming more of a two-way street, and the rules and costs associated with that relationship are being rewritten right now. To sum it all up, the grid support charge is a proposed fee for solar customers designed to cover the costs of maintaining the electrical grid. Utilities argue it's about fairness and ensuring everyone who uses the grid helps pay for it. Opponents call it a solar tax that penalizes clean energy adopters and protects utility profits. The real impact on your savings depends entirely on the specific fee in your area. This isn't a simple issue with an easy answer. It's a complex debate about the future of our energy system. The most important thing you can do is stay informed, understand the arguments from both sides, and get involved in the regulatory process in your state. Your voice matters in shaping the future of solar energy. I know this was a lot of information, and it can be a bit overwhelming. But our goal here at ElectroGuide is to empower you with knowledge. Understanding these changes is the first step to navigating them effectively. If you found this video helpful and want to stay on top of the latest news in the world of electricity and renewable energy, please hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Let me know in the comments below what you think about these grid support charges. Are they fair? Are they a tax? I'd love to hear your perspective and what's happening in your local area. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay charged.